Yes, ma.
Why didn't you tell your other colleagues to come online?
I told them, oh, I told them.
Okay, then I'll start teaching you. There is no problem. So that we don't delay. Can I start?
Yes, ma.
Can you see the slide on your screen? The slide show the PowerPoint.
Yes.
Can you see it? Can you see the title? GST 102 use of English and communication skills too.
Yes, ma.
Can you see it? Okay. 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 So the topic for today is writing reports and summaries. Can you see the topic? Hello?
Yes, ma.
Can you see the topic?
Yes, ma. I can see the topic.
Okay. So I think somebody else has come online.
Yes.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me, young man? Hello? Can you hear me? John Babatunde.
Yeah, good evening, ma.
Okay, yes. Can you see the topic for today, writing reports and summaries?
Yes, yeah, I can see it, ma.
Why didn't you tell your other colleagues to come online, your other classmates? Can we start the lecture now?
Yeah, we'll message you.
Can we start the lecture now?
Yes,
we can start. If
okay, so
we can.
We can start now.
Okay, like I said at the outset of the lecture, I'm sure you know me already. Do I need to introduce myself?
Well, no, ma. I know you. I don't know.
John Babatunde, do you know me?
No, ma. No.
Okay, my name is Dr. Bibian Ugwala.
Yes, ma. I can see your name.
Yeah, I'm your online facilitator for GST 102, use of English and communication skills. So apart from the lectures, any area you find confusing, you can private chat me so that we discuss it. Do you understand?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So the topic for today is writing reports and summaries. So, does any of you know what a report writing is?
Yes, ma.
Okay, so what is a report?
My understanding. A report writing, we can say it's a write-up that contains the information of an event or a situation.
Okay. What of Okunodete? Can you say something about a report?
A report is like you giving out an information of events, whether an event you witnessed, you participated in.
Okay. A report writing is different from writing an application letter. You know that. So the aim of this lecture is to teach us, we are going to look at different types of reports. We are going to say what a report is. We are going to look at how to write different types of reports. And again, we are going to define what a summary is. And then we're going to look at the techniques of long passage reduction. You understand? So this lecture is very, very important. So it's better you listen carefully. I'm sure you can see the slides. Can you see the slides?
Yes,
ma'am.
Good. So let's begin. A report, like we said, a report is an account of events, experiences, experiments, and so on. If you witness something, maybe a fire incident or some other thing, and you are asked to give an account of that incident you have witnessed, it is called a report writing. That makes a report an account of events, experiences, or experiments, and so on. Reports can be defined as an organized, factual, and objective presentation of information. The pieces of information you include in a report must be factual, it must be objective, it must be the truth. Whenever you are writing any report, you don't include your own personal views or ideas into it, except when you are making a recommendation at the end of the report. For instance, if in your area, you are going to write about the outbreak of cholera in your area, then the report of maybe you have witnessed a case or two of people who suffered from cholera infection. So you can write a report about it. Then at the end, when you want to give your own recommendation, that's where you are going to put your own personal views for the reader to understand. I hope you are following. So when you say reports can be defined as an organized, factual, and objective presentation of information, then what do we mean by something being organized? When you say something is organized, you mean that its parts should form a whole. That is, the parts of the report must be coordinated. It must be one unique whole, from the introduction of the report, the body, and the conclusion. There should be no discordance of whatsoever. Every part of the report must be organized. You understand? It should form one unique whole, so that when the reader is reading whatever you have written, the reader will be able to understand the points you are making and the scene you are trying to describe. Also, when you say report is objective, you mean that it should not be influenced by your personal feelings. Like I said at the outset of this lecture, you don't give your own feelings. You don't give your subjective judgment. For instance, the example I made before, trying to describe cholera outbreak in your area, you just say it the way it is. You understand? You have to study what caused that cholera, whether it is because of unhygienic water supply or so. You have to state it without being biased. You have to present it in the way it happened. Okay, so that is what we mean by being a report being an objective piece. Anything you are writing that is based on a factual information can be classified as a report. Babatunde, you seem to be the only one online. Babatunde?
Yeah, I think the lady is spot or maybe network. Ma, I'm with you, ma.
It's possible. It's network. It's network. See, somebody else has come online. Oluwa Tosin. Tosin. So we can also say reports are organized, factual, and objective presentation of information. I've said this before. So I think more people should try and come online. So we now move further discussing what reports are or what a report is. A report may contain opinions, but these opinions should be supported by factual evidence. You don't write your report based on hearsay, based on gossips, or based on rumors. Reports must be supported by factual evidence. That is what if people go out to carry out a report, a similar report of what you've written, their reports in so many ways will be like yours, because it is supported by factual pieces of evidence. A report must be systematic. The pattern must be clear and logical. That is, like I said before, The report must be organized. You must present your ideas serially. Like one topic or one paragraph should logically lead to the next. Your sentences should be clear. Your sentences should be factual. The facts you have should be what people can verify. You understand? Whenever you are writing a report, you are trying to convey some information to others. Are you following, Babatunde?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may wish to give an account of some event that you have come to know of. For instance, if you are traveling and you witness an armed robbery incident, and a policeman comes and asks you, Babatunde, you witnessed this armed robbery incident. Please, can you write a report of what happened? You have to give a vivid and clear account of what you have witnessed. Your account, your write-up should be lucid and your language should be clear so that anybody reading the report will try to visualize what you are trying to explain or what you are trying to describe. So there are different forms of report writing. At times you may like to describe your personal experiences or state the results of your investigation. That may be a report writing. You understand? For instance, if you are asked to go and represent the managing director of your company, or if you are asked to go and represent somebody in an occasion, you may be asked to write a report of what you have gone to see or what you witnessed. So it may be a report of your personal experiences too. You understand? It may not be what happened to others and then you being a witness. A report writing can also be you narrating your personal experiences. Like I have said before, whenever you are, even if you are narrating your personal experiences, your report must be systematic, the pattern must be clear, and it must be logical. Oluwatosin. Hello, Oluwatosin. Oluwatosin, can you hear us? Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm here with you, but the network is breaking.
Okay.
The audio is not clear.
Okay, it's not clear, but can you see the slides? That's why I decided to use slides. Can you see the slides?
I can see the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, good. It's because of the problem of...
I can see the PowerPoint.
Yes, it's because of the issue of network that I decided to put the PowerPoints by the side, so that even if you at least you can't hear me, you can see and follow what I'm saying. Are the points on the PowerPoint clear to you?
Okay, ma.
Hello? Oluwatosin, where are you? Which part of the country are you? Hello? Which part of the country are you?
Hello, the audio is not. The audio is. I'm in Abuja.
Okay, you are in Abuja.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Today's network is not too good. Hello?
I can see the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, you can see the PowerPoint.
The audio is bad.
Okay. It's network difficulty. So let us move on to different stages of writing a report. Different stages of writing a report or different stages of report writing.
Let me change my location.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can barely hear you. I'm trying to change my location.
Okay. Hello. Babatunde, you are back. Hello, Babatunde. Babatunde.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. I'm back now.
I think network is
yes,
bad where you
ma,
are.
I'm back, ma.
Yes, I think network is bad where you are.
Very bad.
Oh, that's
Yes,
the problem we are
it's
having.
not
Even the
stable.
other lady can't connect with us. Oluwatosin still equally having difficulty in connecting with us. So now let's move on to different stages of report writing before our time is up. Like I said, before writing any reports, there are certain questions you must ask yourself. You don't just go ahead writing any report. Or report is not something you just dabble in, just pick a sheet of paper and say, I want to start writing a report. You must ask yourself certain questions. You must ask yourself, what information needs to be conveyed? Oluwatosin, can you hear us now? Tosin. Tosin. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Babatunde?
Yes, ma. I can hear you, ma.
Okay. So like I was saying, before writing a report, you must ask yourself some questions before going on to write the report. Report is not just what you just dabble into, or you just pick up a sheet of paper and say, I want to start writing a report. You must ask yourself some questions. Questions like, what information needs to be conveyed in this report? Who are the readers of this report? What is the purpose or aim of the report? Who is the report for? When you finish asking yourself these questions, then you go ahead to start gathering information from relevant materials and from different sources about the topic you want to write about. For instance, if you want to write about cholera outbreak in your area, or maybe a particular problem bothering your community, you can go ahead and then gather information about that topic or about that thing before you start writing. So when you are gathering information, at the point of gathering information, then you jot down your points. Hello, the young lady that just joined us, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So when you gather information about the report you are going to write, you get a sheet of paper and then jot down points, jot down relevant points, points that are related to the topic you are writing. You don't just go ahead to get random information. The information you get or you gather must be related or must be relevant to the topic you want to write about. Are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
So after jotting down points, you write an outline of the report. So, Babatunde, now at this juncture, can you define what a report is? Can you define what a report is, Babatunde?
Yeah.
Hello,
A
Dr. Clara
report,
Agbara, I can see you. Hello, Dr. Clara. I can see, can you see me? Eh? So, we now move on to parts of a report. See, like every other piece of writing, The reports also have different parts. So most reports contain 3 main parts. You have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Like I said, most reports, like every type of writing, must have different parts. The report we are talking about now must have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. In the introduction part of the report, you should state the subject and the purpose of the report. For instance, the introduction is like a window for your reader. The introduction tells your reader what the report is about. You understand? So
Yes.
you may also give the background information if necessary. That is the reason why you are writing the report and the essence of the report. Like the example I gave before, in your area, if there is cholera outbreak and you want to write about it, you have to gather material, you have to read and know what cholera is, the reason why that cholera outbreak happened in your area, whether it is a result of water or a result of whatever reason that have caused it. So you have to study and know. Then at the introduction, you introduce what the report is about to the reader, so that the reader will know what the report is about. Even if the reader does not have time to finish reading the report, the introduction in a way will tell the reader what the report is about. So after the introduction, then the body of the report comes after the introduction. Here you present a detailed and organized account of the subject of the report. It is at the body you introduce, you give figures, you give examples, state the causes, the reason why the particular thing has happened. Here you can include the figures, tables, graphs, charts, that supporting evidence. You understand? Then you can also tell the reader at the background of the report, maybe similar reports that have been written elsewhere. You understand? So you can state all this in the body of the report to flesh out the report, so to make the report elaborate and to make the report elaborate for the reader to be able to understand what you are writing about. Then after the body of the report, we have the conclusion. In the conclusion, you can summarize your observations and give your suggestions or recommendations. Don't forget that at the outset of the lecture, we define the report as a factual and organized presentation of facts. I told you that you don't impute your personal ideas when writing a report. But at the end of the report, at the conclusion stage, here you can give your suggestions. It is here you can give your own input about based on what you have written. Then you can make your recommendations. If you are writing the report to government or to any relevant authority, you can input your suggestions and then make your recommendations. Your recommendations too should be what the readers can come to terms with. It shouldn't be something abstract. It shouldn't be something vague. It shouldn't be something ambiguous. It should be something that is lucid and clear for your reader to understand. Babatunde, are you following, and others? So we now move on to language structure of writing a report. Language structure of writing a report. You understand, just like I have said, the report is a unique type of writing. It's different from writing an application letter. It's also different from writing an informal letter. It's also different from writing maybe responses to queries. It is a unique type of report. It can be classified as a technical form of writing. So also the language use of report is equally different from all other forms of writing. So how you structure your language depends on the topic you are writing about, and it depends on your audience, that is those that are going to read the report. So when you have this in mind, make sure that your language must be clear. That is, your language should not have multiple meanings. When you write something, when you use a linguistic item, the reader should be able to understand that without even needing to consult you. You understand? And again, when you use words that are polysemous, the context in which you use that word should be able to make the reader understand that polysemous word you have used. We know that there are so many types of polysemous words. For instance, the word bank has more than 2 or 3 meanings. The word plant has more than 2, 3 meanings. The word beer has so many meanings. So when you use such words that are polysemous, you make sure you structure your language in a way that the context will be able to explain the meaning clearly to your reader. Are you following? They seem not to be on the following. Vatunde, are you following? So, having said that, make sure your language is brief and simple. Make sure your language is brief and simple. There's no need of using highfalutin words, high-sounding words, when you can use simple words that your readers can come to terms with. It will be of no use if your readers need to consult the dictionary always for them to be able to understand what you are writing. So make sure you use simple words and let your language be brief too. Avoid repetition of ideas when you are writing your reports. For instance, when you write so many things, you repeat ideas here and there, the reader gets bored. You understand? When you even need to repeat something, let it be for emphasis. Let it not just be repeating for repeating's sake. You understand? Then, avoid ambiguous sentences. Avoid ambiguous sentences. What are ambiguous sentences? Ambiguous sentences are sentences that have more than one meaning. Sentences that are vague, whose meanings are not clear. Avoid such sentences when you are writing a report. Next, use complex sentences instead of compound or multiple ones. That does not mean that you can't use compound sentences at some point in your writing. But complex sentences, for instance, are shorter and they explain your meaning in an unambiguous way. Example of a complex sentence is, I'm writing this report because I love writing. Example of a complex sentence. I want to give the definition of a complex sentence relating to what I'm talking about. I am writing because I love writing. So that is a complex sentence. The meaning is straightforward and clear. A complex sentence contains one main clause and maybe 1 or 2 or more subordinate clauses. So instead of using compound or multiple sentences that where you model up ideas, it's better use complex sentences where you join 2 or 3 ideas together. So in your report writing, avoid jargon. That is, avoid words that are too difficult to understand. For instance, jargons are expressions that are so difficult, it's only people that are in a particular group or clique that can understand them. So try as much as possible to avoid such in your writing too. Also, because of the complex nature of the country, of our language situation in Nigeria, most of us think in our mother tongue and then talk in English language. So most times, most of us tend to code mix when we are writing. Even in some students, when they are writing their examination, they tend to code mix. They tend to use linguistic items from their mother tongue. You have to avoid this when you are writing your reports. That's why I said before you write a report, you must carry out a study. You must gather facts and information. Be clear and be knowledgeable of what you are writing. Are you all following? Yeah. So try to avoid jargon, that is words too difficult to understand. Also, your language should be impersonal. Avoid the use of pronouns like I, we, they. These are not advised in writing. You can structure your language in a way that you avoid such pronouns. Because when you put such pronouns, it gives it like a sort of personal touch. And maybe your readers will feel it is just your ideas you are passing across to them. Like the example I gave before about cholera outbreak in your area. If you are writing about cholera outbreak in your area, go ahead, you structure your language in a way that is you are detached from the writing. Then it's at the end that you cannot give your personal suggestion. Even when you are giving your personal suggestion, you don't say, I suggest that. You can say, it is suggested that, or it is recommended that. This way you have detached yourself from it. Are you following? Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay. So you heard what I said before. Avoid using personal pronouns. There are ways you can structure your language, even your recommendations and conclusions or suggestions without using personal pronouns. Instead of saying, I suggest that, or we suggest that, you can say, it is suggested that cholera outbreaks can be avoided through doing this and this and that. Or it is recommended that this and that the government should do this and this and that. You understand? Okay. For those just joining, we are looking at the language structure of writing a report. Today's topic is report writing and summaries. So at this point of the lecture, we are at language structure of writing a report. So your language should be objective and formal. Your language should be objective and formal. So we have 10 minutes to go, so I have to be fast now. So we now move on to types of reports. That is, this report we've been talking about, we have so many types of reports. We have reports of events, we have reports on meetings and speeches, we have reports on interviews, we have reports on tests and experiments, and we have reports on surveys. Don't forget that these different types of reports have their different structure. Though basically the structure of a report, I think, is almost the same, but they have their different language formalities. So we have 10 more minutes to go. I have to allow time for questions. So we now move on to writing summaries. Writing summaries. What are summaries? At one point in time in our life, we must write summaries. We must write summaries. For instance, if you're a personal secretary to maybe a senator or whatever, and somebody brings a write-up that is very bulky, and your boss asks you to summarize it. So how are you going to go about it? It is very important to master the art of summary writing. Like I said, summaries are concise and smaller versions of a large piece of writing.
And it's like not possible.
Large piece of writing, you will reduce it and compress it to be smaller so that the meaning will not be lost. So, Oluwatosi, are you driving or what? Noise. Maybe the person is on the road. Okay, let's all move on to let us move on to techniques of writing summaries. Before you go ahead to start writing summaries, make sure you understand the full text before doing a summary of it. Even if it requires you reading it more than twice, make sure you understand it fully, what the text is about before going ahead to do a summary of it. Not that the summary you are trying to do. When you read each sentence, because sentences make up large pieces of writing. Paragraphs are made up of sentences, and full text are made up of so many paragraphs. So when you want to do summary, when you read each sentence, think of how you will reduce that sentence without destroying the meaning. Think of how you will reduce that sentence without destroying the meaning. You have to know the part of the sentence where the main meaning is. So remove those points that are not absolutely essential to the meaning of that piece of writing. It is not necessary to include your summary all the details that occur in a passage, because most large piece of writing we all have. Most large piece of writing we have so many details. Like for instance, in the cholera we talked about when we are writing reports. You can write that report and then decide to reduce it, decide to summarize it. You understand? So after this class, I'm sure we all go back and practice report writing and summary writing. Though we'll soon come to the end of the class. Techniques of writing summaries. Whenever you want to write a summary, you don't just start writing summaries as if you're writing an application letter or if you're writing on any other form of writing. Like I said, every form of writing has its own techniques. Report writing has its own techniques. Summary writing has its own techniques too. Application letter writing has its own technique. Answering queries has its own technique too. So when you are writing summaries, try to know where the main information lies. Whether that information is at the main or the subordinate clause. You remember the other time I said it's better for you to use complex sentences when you are writing reports. A complex sentence, what is the definition of a complex sentence? A complex sentence is a sentence that has a main or a subordinate clause. Subordinate words are words like because and so on and so forth. You understand? So try to know where the main information is, whether the information is on the main clause or on the subordinate clause, so that when you are removing information, you don't remove the main meaning. What you do as summary writing is to remove things that don't really add to the meaning of what that text is about. You understand? So you do sentence by sentence dissection, that's like sentence by sentence summary. Each sentence, you look at it, is this sentence necessary? Is this one necessary? If it's not necessary, remove it. So you keep the main sentences that are necessary when you are writing summaries. You understand? I think we have about 5 more minutes. So after doing this, like after you do sentence by sentence summary, then at the end, you put in sentences, the new sentences you have created by means of deletion or removal of words. This is known as sentence shortening. So after doing that, you then join the sentences together. If you do that, then you get the summary of the passage. You understand? So basically that is that for report writing and writing summaries. I've just given you the main ideas or the main techniques of writing summaries. You understand? It is very important you read the passage very well before undertaking a summary of it. If you don't do that, you end up imputing your ideas. You end up imputing things that are not in the main passage. You understand? And again, don't forget, when you're writing summaries, if there are technical words that are difficult, you have to make sure you break down those words. Technical words. And again, there are some technical words that you must retain when you are doing the summary. If that technical word aids to the meaning of that passage, you must retain it whenever you are doing summary. Understand? So we have 3 minutes more. So we've come to the end of today's lecture. It is quite unfortunate that internet was not too good for some people. But those that have come online, I'm sure you've been following what we've been saying.
Yeah, partially.
John Babatunde, can you ask your question? John,
No, I don't have a question for now, ma.
You don't have any question?
Another
Okay.
thing, I want to make a request, ma.
Go ahead.
Can we get this slide, ma? Can you share with us so that we can have it for network has been so
This slide? Share the slide to you. Okay, yes, we can share the slide to you. We can share the slide to you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma.
Okay. So we've got to the conclusion of the lecture. So when we share the slide to you, please let your other friends read them. But don't forget to read your course materials so that you understand better the points we have raised here. Do you understand?
Okay, ma.
We'll share the slides to you. Don't forget to come online next week, the same time.
Okay, ma.
Don't forget, please tell your friends. They all have to come online, but we are going to share the slide now.
Okay.
or to everyone?
It's not possible to
When share to everyone, I think it's to everyone. You want to share it to give them, send the PowerPoint to or you upload it for me now.
Okay, tell them.
Okay, I will upload it on my page. It's not easy to share it to everyone. So, but I will upload it on my page and you can see it there. Okay. On the course page, please share it. Yes, yes.
Now we'll go and check it there.
Let's say you share it.